So we've talked a little bit about the various terms that are out there about anger, but what causes anger? What triggers anger? And for all of us, triggers are really personal. They're based on history. And those triggers are those buttons. And we have to remember that one person's trigger may not be another person's trigger. This is as adults as well as for kids. And also, we need to remember, and this kind of reflects back to what Ruth said, is that the anger triggers can vary by day, vary by hour. The more stressed out we are, probably the easier it is for us to get angry and not use healthy outlets for our anger. So they become outbursts and scary, like as we experience with some of our families. So the question becomes, how do we know that we're angry? How do we know what our triggers are? How do we know when our kids are angry? What is it that they display? What is it that we display from the way we act, the way we feel? And then think about what we do right now to keep our cool. And hopefully, through the rest of our conversation today, we're going to talk about what we can do more fully to keep our own cool.
Okay, Carol, I'm going to ask you, what makes you absolutely crazy with your son? When he was growing up, what would push your button?
Oh, I'll tell you. I'm trying to think of it because he's such a good guy now.
There's hope, everybody. There's hope.
Right, there is hope. Of course, one of the things was that it didn't seem as if he was listening. And that would definitely make me crazy. And so what would I do to cope with that? I would just raise the volume of my voice as opposed to doing something, figuring out a more effective way to communicate with him so that he would listen to me. What about you, Ruth?
Well, I'm going to deflect a little bit and talk about my husband. And one thing that absolutely would make him crazy is, it's the winter time now and we just had some snow. It would make him crazy when he would go out to shovel and no one would just follow him. And he would come in steaming mad because no one had volunteered to help him shovel. And well, who can blame anyone? No one wants to do that.
Yeah, so I guess maybe he could have asked for some help
them out
in a nice, positive way. But we don't think about those things as we're getting angry, that's for sure.
Susan, you're being very quiet.
Well, I was just laughing because Carol's experience with her son is exactly what caused me to slam the door the other day, which is I'm asking my daughter to do something, and her response is, "Yeah, right, Mom." And I know she's not going to do it, and that's when I got angry. So again, if I had come up with a more positive way of saying, this is something that needs to be done, and you're the one who has to do it, sorry, and rather than giving up and slamming the door, it would have been a lot better.
It kind of as opposed to everything being the same level of importance and then just raising your voice, at least in my situation, to try to get the message across.
I mean, this is sort of slightly outside of our topic, but it's like choosing your battles.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's one of our favorite topics.